So I was planning on doing another video after the video that I submitted a little while ago, and then this happened. Uh, Articles of impeachment have been charged against President Donald J. Trump, Part 2. This is attorney Drew Page with the law firm Randall Page, author of the book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia. And I'm going to go straight to the articles of impeachment. So this is what was filed in the House of Representatives by Mr. Cicilline for himself, Mr. Ted Lieu of California, Mr. Raskin, Mr. Nadler, and an attached list of co-sponsors. So it's a resolution impeaching Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors. The first line says, resolved that that Donald John Trump, President of the United States, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following article of impeachment be exhibited to the United States Senate. Line 5, article of impeachment exhibited by the House of Representatives of the United States of America in the name of itself and of the people of the United States of America against Donald John Trump, President of the United States of America, in maintenance and support of its impeachment against him for high crimes and misdemeanors. Article 1, which is the first charge of impeachment against Donald Trump, incitement of insurrection. That is the charge. It's the only charge in the impeachment resolution. It says the Constitution provides the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment, and that the President shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Further, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution prohibits any person who has, quote, engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States from, quote, holding any office under the United States. So that's the law that they are arguing sets up this right of impeachment for insurrection. In line 13, it says, in his conduct while President of the United States and in violation of his constitutional oath faithfully to execute the office of President of the United States and, to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, Donald John Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors by inciting violence against the government of the United States in that. So that's the charge, and now they're going to lay out the facts of what they argue is the insurrection. It says, on January 6, 2021, pursuant to the 12th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, the House of Representatives, and the Senate met at the United States Capitol for a joint session of Congress to count the votes of the Electoral College. So there's no dispute there. I think everybody agrees that was the point of why they went to the Capitol. In the months preceding the joint session, President Trump repeatedly issued false statements, asserting that the presidential election results were the product of widespread fraud and should not be accepted by the American people or certified by state or federal officials. Now, I think there would be some who may have some issue with that as a fact. There's always been voter fraud. I mean, let's just go ahead and agree with that. In every election, there is some voter fraud. Now, whether it's widespread and things of that nature, okay, maybe that was a bridge too far. But to say that it's false that voter fraud was involved, I mean, frankly, voter fraud is in every single election we've ever had. Let's just be honest with it. I mean, you got dogs voting, you got dead people voting. I mean, that's just a reality. The question is it an overwhelming issue to the point that, an election was stolen? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know what kind of investigation was done, but that's really not the heart of the impeachment. I just want to point out that they claim it's a false statement. I don't know that it has been proven false, but maybe it has. I don't know. It's not my point here. So going on, it says, shortly after the joint session commenced, President Trump addressed a crowd at the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. There he reiterated false claims that we won this election and we won it by a landslide. I don't know. That was probably That was probably a stretch, but it is what it is. Then it goes, he also willfully made statements that, and here's the interesting thing, in context, encouraged, hyphen, and foreseeably resulted in, hyphen, lawless action at the Capitol, such as. So they're trying to put this in a context to say that his words in the statement that he gave, that is magically now all removed from Twitter, so nobody can verify this anymore unless somebody has it recorded and is floating it around somewhere else. And since Parler is now down, nobody can verify it with Parler. It is what it is. They say in context that the statements that he made encouraged lawless action. So here is one of the statements. It says, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. So that's a very general statement. I think that's probably one many people have said for years. I don't know that would rise to the level of inciting a specific action. I think, frankly, 90% of people on Facebook have said something to this effect, that on both sides of the aisle, that if we don't fight for our rights, we don't fight for what we're supposed to do, then we're going to lose our country. So I don't know about that. I'm just giving you my analysis on that. I think that's pretty weak in my opinion, but hey, whatever. So that one line is the only line that they address in these impeachment articles. It goes on to say, thus, based on this one line here, incited by President Trump, members of the crowd he had addressed in an attempt to, among other objectives, interfere with the joint session's solemn constitutional duty to certify the results of the 2020 presidential election, unlawfully breached and vandalized the Capitol, injured and killed law enforcement personnel, menaced members of Congress, the vice president, and congressional personnel, and engaged in other violent, deadly, destructive, and seditious acts. I wasn't there. I certainly saw some videos where, there were definitely some crazy people there doing some crazy things. I also noted that there were a lot of peaceful people who marched down the street and then left and caused absolutely no problem. Were the crazies incited by the statement, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore? He didn't say storm the Capitol or storm the gates or I don't know. Perhaps. I think that this is pretty weakly drawn. I mean, maybe there's more to the statement, but this seems pretty weak to me. But at any rate, that's the allegation. And so then it says in paragraph line mark 24, President Trump's conduct on January 6, 2021 followed his prior efforts to subvert and obstruct the certification of the results of the 2020 presidential election. Those prior efforts included a phone call on January 2, 2021, during which President Trump urged the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, to find, quote, enough votes to overturn the Georgia presidential election results and threatened Secretary Raffensperger if he failed to do so. Now, again, I don't know that incites a riot. It may be circumstantial evidence to, suggest that the other statement caused that. It certainly wasn't a good thing for the president. I can tell you that. That was not we'll say that was not a stellar moment in his presidency when he made that phone call. And I'm sure that in hindsight, he probably would like to take that back. So we've got someone who said he did say we're going to march on down to the Capitol now. Again, I don't know if that was a storm the gates or if they're marching. Because remember, there was a peaceful march with a lot of people who left and didn't cause a whole bunch of ruckus. But, again, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just giving the information, giving my perspective. You certainly can agree or disagree in the comments, or if you have comments on YouTube as well. I welcome any disagreement. I'm certainly, I'm not knowledgeable about everything in the world. I certainly don't know his intent, don't know the drafter's intent. Just want to lay this out and kind of give you my legal perspective, and then you can take it for what it's worth, which, since none of these people have hired me yet, is worth nothing. So it's worth the price you pay for it. At any rate, it says in all this, let's see. I'm sorry. I got distracted. In all this, yes, on line 8 of the next page, 4, it says, in all this, President Trump gravely endangered the security of the United States and its institutions of government. He threatened the integrity of the democratic system, interfered with the peaceful transition of power, and imperiled a co-equal branch of government. He thereby betrayed his trust as president to the manifest injury of the people of the United States. So that's basically their summation of how this all laid out. You know, what will history say about the election results and the large number? I mean, we're talking about a vote count that even Obama wasn't able to get. Maybe there's something there, maybe there isn't. I don't know, but I'm surprised that Joe Biden was able to rally the troops even more than President Obama was, who was the most popular president that I can remember since being born in the late 70s. Maybe Ronald Reagan. Definitely between those two for popularity in my lifetime. But I would say probably Obama's much more popular, and yet he got a fraction of the votes that Joe Biden was able to inspire. Or perhaps maybe people just showing up just to vote against Donald Trump, and that could very well be as well. So I got to leave open that possibility too. So anyway, then we get to the wherefore paragraph. Donald John Trump, by such conduct, has demonstrated that he will remain a threat to national security, democracy, and the Constitution if allowed to remain in office, and has acted in a manner grossly incompatible with self-governance and the rule of law. Donald John Trump thus warrants impeachment and trial, removal from office, and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. So that is the entire resolution. And, we'll see what happens with that. Frankly, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I mean, he may be impeached by the House again. As you'll recall, he was impeached back in December of 2019. But remember, there's a distinction between impeachment and removal. Bill Clinton was impeached, but he was never removed. Donald J. Trump may be impeached, but that is not the same as removal. That requires a vote from the Senate. So, the House vote on this is likely to occur probably Wednesday. And then basically the Senate has a week to try a case. And here's the thing. Let's just say that Mitch gives in to the Democrat side because of what appears now to be at least maybe not a blue wave, but certainly a blue ripple, because they now have every branch of government going into the next session. Let's say for sake of argument that Mitch McConnell is bold enough to actually. I'm getting ready to hit that, Sam. I see your question there. I'm getting ready to hit that right now. Let's assume that Mitch starts the trial on Thursday. There's no way the trial will be concluded by the time Joe Biden is sworn in. Once Joe Biden is sworn in, the impeachment proceeding will then be moot because President Trump will no longer be president. So the likelihood that this actually ends the way that Democrats want it to end, where he is unable to run in the future and he is going to be removed from office and barred from being able to hold office again, don't hold your breath. It's probably not going to happen. I've already done a video about the 25th Amendment. I just don't see that is going to be a possibility. And I don't think this is going to go the way that the Democrats want it to go either. But what it will do is cost us all a lot more tax dollars. So isn't that great? Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. There will be a transition of power on January 20th, whether you like it or not. So, as I said in the last video regarding the 25th Amendment, make sure you take care of you and yours. Make sure that you're taking care of your own house, no matter who the president is. And, you'll be okay. And if we can help you with any of your legal needs, my name is Drew Page with the law firm Randall Page. You can reach me at my Suffolk office at 757-935-9065. You can reach me at my website at www. You can reach me by email, drewpage@randallpagelaw.com. So if I can help you in any way, please reach out. And you say maybe not, Sam, but once the proceeding is over, it's what's called moot constitutionally, there's no basis for a removal of a president who's no longer president. So that will be rendered moot. So there will be no going on with that. All right, take care.